when Aryna Sabalenka told her coach, "Oh no." After he proposed analyzing her Australian Open final defeat, no one realized that moment would perfectly reflect how flipped the tennis world had become. Because on that same January 31st, Alex Eala's pre-tournament press conference racked up 171,000 views on YouTube, while Sabalenka, the two-time champion and world number 1, drew only 8,000. The balance of power in women's tennis didn't just tilt in Melbourne.
I saw the other day with Alex Eala, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. There's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. She's been the biggest ever, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest. So things like that happen. I mean, you could argue that it was, maybe a poor schedule, and maybe they could schedule them on a bigger court. Yes, but again, she's so young and she's just coming through. So and obviously the first couple rounds, the schedule is so packed. The big courts with big names, it's difficult. It's not easy to manage that. But again, it's a good problem to have, to be honest.
This was definitely one of the bigger Filipino turnouts. Also, New York was huge. It was tough because it also depends what court you're on. That you feel the noise and things. I would say the top two so far have been Melbourne and New York.
It blew up. This is how a 20-year-old Filipina ranked number 49 caused crowd gridlock so intense that people were unable to pass through, while the world number 1 advanced to her 4th consecutive final and still finished the event in what she described as an emotional episode of laughing and crying in front of the global press. The 2026 Australian Open set a single-day attendance milestone of 101,696 fans on January 19, but the figure everyone truly recalls is 58,935, the size of ES Filipino community that poured onto Court 6 to witness S main draw debut. Eala was not expected to be the headline that day. Tournament officials assigned her to Court 6, the so-called party court, in what analysts labeled an unforced mistake.
I mean, it's an incredible match, and I tried my very best. I was fighting till the very last point. I had my opportunities. Feels like I missed a couple, but I mean, it's tennis, Today you're a loser, tomorrow you're a winner, so hopefully I'll be more of a winner this season than a loser, so hoping right now and pray.
Former Deputy Tournament Director Peter Johnston noted that similar lines stretching more than 100 meters had already formed during Eala's appearances in Hong Kong in late 2025. Chair umpire Julia Ignachenko delivered several warnings for crowd noise during rallies. The atmosphere was so electric that Eala's opponent Alicia Parks later said the setting was unlike anything the tour usually sees outside the main arenas. Eala captured a 6-0 bagel in the first set by taking advantage of Parks' mistakes, but eventually fell 0-6, 6-3, 6-2 as her own unforced errors mounted in the final 2 sets. The match lasted nearly 3 hours. When it concluded, she spent 10 to 15 minutes signing autographs for fans who refused to disperse. While Eala was creating logistical disorder on Court 6, Sabalenka was methodically tearing through her draw without surrendering a single set. She advanced to the title match alongside Elena Rybakina, who also had not dropped a set. Their championship showdown became a lesson in razor-thin margins. The match numbers showed uncanny balance. Sabalenka won 92 total points. Rybakina won 92 total points as well, exactly the same, but the scoreline read 6-4, 4-6, 6-4 in Rybakina's favor after Sabalenka surged ahead 3-0 in the deciding set and then unraveled, capturing just one of the final 7 games. The aftermath turned into a viral highlight. Sabalenka said she experienced an emotional episode of both laughing and crying. She acknowledged, "I was really disappointed in myself because once again I had chances. I couldn't handle the level of aggression Elena brought to the court today." This candor explains why online commentary described Sabalenka as losing control. But in a professional context, the emotional outpouring was the result of enormous pressure in defending the world number 1 ranking against younger competitors increasingly challenging established champions. When Dubrov proposed reviewing the match on the day of the defeat, Sabalenka jokingly replied, "Oh no." The media portrayed the exchange as playful, but the underlying meaning was evident. Emotional intensity operates as part of Sabalenka's competitive makeup. That's when the momentum changed. The controversy surrounding Sabalenka extended beyond the final. During her January 29 semifinal against Alina Svitolina, chair umpire Luis Azamar called a hindrance on Sabalenka for an extended grunt in the opening set. The umpire clarified that the sound, phonetically described as UA, was not Sabalenka's usual noise and therefore qualified as a distraction to Svitolina. Sabalenka challenged the ruling, prompting a video review that confirmed the umpire's decision. After the match, Sabalenka voiced raw frustration. "She really made me mad. If she wants to do it again, I want to be sure she's not hesitant about it. Go ahead, call it. It's only going to motivate me." The Svitolina match also included a planned absence of a post-match handshake due to the ongoing conflict involving Russia and Belarus. Ukrainian players such as Svitolina consistently decline handshakes with competitors from those countries. To avoid crowd booing, which had occurred when Mira Andreeva and Svitolina competed, Australian Open officials delivered a formal announcement before the semi-final. The announcer at Rod Laver Arena stated, "At the end of the match, there will be no handshake between the players. We appreciate your understanding." Sabalenka maintained a composed public position, expressing admiration for Svitolina as an athlete while recognizing the political realities behind the decision. But the combined impact of the hindrance controversy, the no-handshake protocol, and the final set breakdown created the image of a champion under pressure, not only from rivals, but from the broader landscape of modern tennis scrutiny. Now contrast Sabalenka's pressure-heavy fortnight with Alex Eala's rise. The excitement surrounding Eala in 2026 traces back to her breakthrough run at the 2025 Miami Open. As a 19-year-old wild card ranked number 140, Eala became the first Filipina to reach the semifinals of a WTA 1000 event. Her journey included defeating 3 Grand Slam champions in a row, Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, the reigning Australian Open champion at the time, and then world number 2 Iga Swiatek. In her quarterfinal victory over Swiatek, Eala struck 10 winners in the opening set alone and took advantage of 19 unforced errors from the Polish star to claim a 6-2, 7-5 victory. Although Eala eventually lost to Jessica Pegula in a 2-hour, 26-minute semifinal showdown, she collected $332,160 in prize money and saw her ranking surge to number 75. That Miami showing cemented her nation as a powerful global fan base and set the stage for the congestion at Melbourne Park 9 months later. The assertion that Alex officially eclipsed Aryna Sabalenka in Australian fan support is not exaggeration. It is backed by clear digital data. On the same day Sabalenka held her pre-tournament press conference as the 2-time defending champion, Eala's media session attracted 171,000 views on the Australian Open's official YouTube channel, compared with Sabalenka's 8,000 views. Post-match live streams of her interviews exceeded 100,000 views, surpassing the engagement numbers of established stars like Carlos Alcaraz. As of February 2026, Eala has accumulated nearly 850,000 Instagram followers. Sabalenka retains a larger overall following, between 3.9 and 5 million across Instagram and TikTok. But the concentrated nature of Eala's fan base in the Philippines, the 14th most populous country in the world, generates what analysts describe as greater commercial intensity. Novak Djokovic characterized Eala's drawing power as a positive challenge and a historic development, highlighting the value of broader national representation in tennis. Martina Navratilova expressed a similar view, urging organizers to consider players' national backgrounds and the size of their fan communities when structuring tournament schedules. The implication of both remarks is unmistakable. Traditional tennis systems have been centered on European and North American markets, and the sport is now being compelled to confront demographic expansion from emerging regions. Her social media engagement score in January 2026 reached 428,259, a metric measuring likes, shares, comments, and video completions, illustrating a changing power balance in which cultural impact can outweigh institutional achievement. But what truly disrupts the framework is this. Aryna Sabalenka's 2026 year-to-date statistics as of mid-February show a 13-1 win-loss record with 86.2% of service games won, 48 aces, and only 17 double faults. Alex Eala's 2026 numbers show a 3-2 record with 63.4% of service games won, 7 aces, and 29 double faults. On paper, Sabalenka competes at an elite level that Eala has not yet reached. Sabalenka has earned $46.7 million in career prize money. Sabalenka stands 1.82 meters tall with a serve that underpins her dominance. Eala stands 1.75 meters tall and is still developing the power aspects of her game. Yet when the 2026 Australian Open concluded, the athlete everyone was discussing was not the one who reached the final for the 4th straight year. It was the one who exited in the first round but captured the focus of 101,696 spectators, created logistical congestion, and produced YouTube numbers that overshadowed the world number 1. The turning point came during Sabalenka's final unraveling, leading 3-0 in the deciding set against Rybakina. Sabalenka went on to claim only one of the next 7 games. The match finished 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. Total points 92-92. Sabalenka's emotional intensity is not new. During the WTA finals against Jessica Pegula, Anton Dubrov actually walked off the court after a heated exchange in the third set, and Sabalenka later acknowledged she had crossed a line but insisted the tension ultimately helped her perform at a higher level. The pattern is evident. Sabalenka channels emotional release as a strategic competitive mechanism. But what occurs when that mechanism no longer delivers results? What happens when a player wins 92 points, concedes 92 points, and still leaves empty-handed while another competitor ranked 39 places lower attracts exponentially greater fan engagement despite a straight sets defeat? The 2026 Australian Open was not solely claimed by Elena Rybakina. It also marked the elevation of Alex Eala as a global figure in the sport. Whether or not the WTA rankings reflect it, Sabalenka continues to demonstrate elite competitive stability, but the defining figure of this era is increasingly shaped not by trophy totals, but by the capacity to seize global attention. The structure of tennis has split into two parallel tracks, one evaluated by service percentages and Grand Slam finals, the other measured by YouTube metrics and social media engagement. And the uncomfortable reality is that the second track is beginning to carry greater influence than the first. The unresolved question for tennis remains: can a world #1 ranking endure when a player 39 spots below commands the focus of an entire continent?